Good morning to all the students of class 8. Today we are going to study Social Science chapter 4, How the Traders Became Rulers, part 1. How the traders became rulers. See, traders, who were the traders? The traders were the merchant from the various country who came to India from different by sea route, and they wanted to trade with India. Why? Because the commodity of India were in great demand, like silk, cotton clothes, muslin, black paper, spice, etc. They were in great demand, and they wanted to increase their demand in the European countries. So they came to India, and these traders, how they become slowly they became the ruler, we'll see in this chapter. The children were engrossed in reading the story of two cats and monkeys during the recess. On reading the story, Jay and Mitali were making fun of each other. See, when the children during their recess time, they were reading the story of two cats and monkeys. You all might be knowing this story. Two cats and the monkeys, they were fighting with each other, and the monkey came and took the advantage of it. On reading the story, the Jay and Mitali, while reading the story, the kids, Jay and Mitali, they were also making fun of each other. So their class teacher who was sitting beside them said, "Children, this too is a policy." See what he said, the children, this is too a policy. The third party takes advantage of a quarrel between the two. When there is a quarrel between the two, the third party takes the advantages of this. In the same way, the British has expanded their empire in India with such policy. So while listening to this, Jay asked, "Sir, how is that possible? How is that possible? Okay, how the two people are fighting with each other and the third one take advantage of it?" The class teacher replied, "Let us go inside the classroom, and then I will explain you about how the British came to India and they established their rule over the Indians." See, we'll start now. By the mid of 18th century, the British had started to emerge as a strong power on the Indian political horizon. See, in the mid of 18th century, in the 18th century, the British emerged as a strong power they made on the Indian political. Do you know that the British came to India only for trade? See, this question arises. Do they have come only for the trade in India, or that means their thinking was something else also? Initially, they took the permission to trade in Indian states. See, first of all, they came to India and they had a trade with Indian states. And then, how did they became the ruler in the entire India? While trading, how they became the ruler in India? The history of the British rule aroses many such questions. See, the history arose such type of questions. And to serve their economic interests, they increased their political hold on India. See, to increase their economic interest, they wanted to increase the economy, and for that they increased their political power in India and had a hold over the Indian. With this the use of British diplomatic tactics, and what they use, their British diplomatic tactics they use, and they expanded their rule slowly in India. See, one of the question is asked in this: if today foreign companies came for trade in India, can they establish their power? See, what do you think? No. If the foreign companies come for the trade in India, today they cannot establish their power, because today India is a democratic, sovereign, and republic nation. So they cannot establish their power today. Wellesley policy of expansion. See, now we'll see the policy of Wellesley. Have the policy of expansion, his rule was during his policy. When Wellesley came to India as the Governor General, cutthroat competition existed between England and France. See, when the Wellesley he came to India as a Governor General, he came, and there was a cutthroat competition. There was a competition between whom? The England and the France, and it was necessary to check France from becoming powerful in India. So, as to expand the British rule in India, Wellesley introduced a new plan which was known as subsidiary alliance. See, the Britishers were what they were thinking, that if the France to check the control on their power, otherwise the France would expand their power. To control on this, the Britisher has to expand their rule in India. So Wellesley he introduced a new policy, a new plan, and which was known as subsidiary alliance. And what is the meaning of subsidiary alliance? It was the scheme which was implemented by Governor General Wellesley. And what was in that? The company provided protection to the Indian rulers who accepted the secondary rule. What that was the subsidiary alliance. See, as per the scheme, any princely state that accepted the alliance has to keep and maintain the British army as well as keep a British representative in the royal court. See, what was this in the subsidiary alliance, that in the princely state, the state which was ruled by the prince, in the princely state they have to accept, when they accepted this alliance, they have to keep and maintain what? The British army. First of all, they have to keep and maintain the British army, as well as they have to keep one of the representative of Britishers in the royal court. And in this way, the British could maintain their army without spending any money. And see, in this way, their army was being provided by the Indians. They were looked after by the Indian princely states, and the British army could maintain their, they were able to maintain their army without spending any money. However, the princely states were not allowed to utilize their army at their own will, and in this, the princely state, they were not allowed to utilize their army when they were need of as their own will. They have to ask the Britishers, and then they can move ahead. This system, which made many feel secure in the beginning, in the beginning they felt that it is secure, but made them feel enslaved also and threatened also. And the Britishers used to threaten them, and they were enslaved. Subsidiary alliance accepted like a slow poison for the princely state of India. See, it was like a slow poison. So that is a sweet poison, we say. Anything that anyone that causes you harm, slowly and gradually it makes you harm. It was same like it, a slow poison for the princely state of India. The Indian state that became the victim, the state which became the victims of subsidiary alliance were Hyderabad, Mysore, Ayodhya, Jodhpur, Gaikwads of Vadodras, Peshwas of Pune, and Shindyas of Gwalior. See, all these were the victims of subsidiary alliance system. See what they are saying in this. To ensure that the French did not become powerful in India, Governor General Wellesley he introduced the policy of subsidiary alliance and to expand the British rule in native states. So the states like Hyderabad, Mysore, Ayodhya, Jodhpur, and other princely states like Gaikwads of Vadodara and Shindes of Gwalior, they accepted this subsidiary alliance and they became some of the first victims. And this subsidiary alliance was like a slow poison for the princely states of our nation. Nizams of Hyderabad was the first victim of Wellesley's subsidiary alliance, and then it was Mysore and Ayodhya. Tanjore and Karnataka met with the same fate. See, first were the Nizams of Hyderabad who became the first victim who accepted this Wellesley policy of subsidiary alliance, and then was the Mysore and Ayodhya. Then after that, the Tanjore and Karnataka also met with the same fate. The British made the Marathas fight among themselves and consequently make them accept the subsidiary alliance. See what they did. This Britishers, they made the Marathas to fight among themselves, and then they made them to accept this subsidiary alliance systems. Till now, this much. In the next part, we will read ahead. Thank you.